You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, General Hospital fans. This is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I want to talk to you guys about Victor Cassadine programming Charlotte Cassadine from beyond the grave. A lot of people wondered if the tarot cards that she had were just a red herring, but after the most recent episode, I think we have to acknowledge they were not, and there is a plot. And I just want to remind you guys real quick about how the tarot cards are used to program people. No, this is not a satanic ritual. They are not tools of Satanists. They're just, some people believe that you can read the cards and tell your fortune. You know, think of them as just a deck of cards with stuff on there that people use for stuff that I just don't personally believe in. But anyway, also, we heard a little bit of Victor's letter that he wrote to Charlotte, but I did a screen capture. I blew up the letter and I deciphered most of it. There's very little of it that I don't have completely translated. And so I want to tell you guys everything that's in the letter because it's very interesting if you didn't happen to read it for yourself. Before we dig into all this fun brainwashing stuff on GH, if you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our updates. So real quick, with the tarot cards. So clearly Charlotte having the tarot cards is very intentional. This is not a red herring. Victor has somehow brainwashed her. He sent her the cards originally while she was in boarding school and while he was still alive. So that's very interesting. And the first time that we saw tarot cards used on General Hospital was right when Cameron Mathison was introduced as Drew Cain in October of 2021. Peter August came to Drew's cell in that compound in Greece where he was being held, and that was the one being run by Victor Cassadine. And Drew was arguing with Peter and he says, I'm never going to do anything that you want me to do. And then Peter pulls out a tarot card. It was the Tower card. It kind of looks like almost like a bishop from a chess set. Not a bishop, a rook. A rook. That's the Tower. Anyway, and Peter said, you're active. And then that turned on Drew's conditioning, turned on his programming, and he sent him to kill Anna and Robert, but he failed. And then later, Liesl Obrecht was also being held there. She came in to check on this bullet graze he had in his arm, and then he realized he had lost like a day or two of time. So the Chariot card was the one that Peter could show him and say, stand down, and then he'd kind of wake back up from his daze. There was a couple of other tarot cards we saw used with Drew. One of them was the card called the Sun. It's got a picture of the sun on it. Victor tried to use that card to activate Drew, and it didn't work. And that's when Victor realized Peter was keeping secrets from him about exactly how he was brainwashed because Peter had been more involved in it. And then later, the Three of Cups card, which literally has three like little kind of goblet cup things on it. Sam, Dante, and Drew had planted it in Peter's belongings, I think, that ended up in with Victor trying to get a hold of them because they were trying to trick Victor again. And then there was actually another tarot card usage on General Hospital attached to Victor's will reading, and that was earlier in the year after he died up in Greenland. So in Victor's will, he left Sam McCall a set of tarot cards, and he had this message about something, so you'll be lucky in love. She wasn't at the will reading, so Alexis accepted them on her behalf, and I believe those are the same deck of cards that they had been using to program Drew. I don't know if he thought, hey, Sam could use these to program him if they ever get back together. That's kind of weird. So while Drew was activated, he carried out killings and kidnappings. He even faked his own death at one point. So could Charlotte have burned down Anna's house? Sure. A lot of people think Jake might have done it. I don't know. I just get the feeling this is Charlotte acting alone. We'll see. And with Victor being, dead now, I wonder if he had someone else he was working with. I would still love it if it's Alex Merrick. Somebody commented the other day, let it go. She's not coming back. We don't know if she's not coming back. I mean, they've got Finola Hughes there every day. And I just feel like somebody else has got to be involved in this, but heck, I could be wrong. So what I thought was very interesting on the most recent episode was when Valentine, showed Charlotte the house. She really likes it. And then he asked her about Anna moving in. And Charlotte's basically like, let's see what the cards say. And she pulls out a deck of tarot cards. And that has to just be a gut clenching moment for Valentine, because he knows about his dad's history of conditioning and mind control. And it seems that he has to know that Victor was controlling people with tarot cards. So this has got to be a huge red flag for him. And then the letter was one that came when Victor sent the cards to her while she was at that boarding school overseas. And I'm going to tell you what parts of the letter are missing that I just couldn't suss out, but there's only a couple of parts. Most of it I have. And I'm going to pop up the letter to show you after this. So he writes, "My dearest Charlotte, it is with a heavy heart that I must write to you and share my concern about my family's future. A family I cherish and would give my life for." Yeah, ironically, he did give his life, but he was at the same time trying to kill the entire family and the rest of the world. I digress. The letter continues, "My concern centers around your father and a path I believe he's headed down filled with unhappiness and danger. I'm afraid your father has gotten weak, Charlotte. I had so much hope for him, but he's forgotten how truly important family is since he's fallen in love with Anna Devane. Anna has completely manipulated your father. She has taken advantage of his infatuation with her. God knows her charms escape me, but she's used them to control your father. Her extensive training in espionage has afforded her the ability to mask who she really is. I tell you this, Anna Devane is not who she seems. Do not trust her, not for a minute. And it is imperative you never forget. You are strong, Charlotte. The Cassadine women are often the most formidable. Even if Valentine brings Anna further into your life, I know you'll never succumb to her so-called charms. You won't let her destroy what our family stands for. She is a liar, capable of treacherous deceit. Be wary and warned. Be armed. You must stay strong. You must use any weapon you can to defeat Anna, because your father will do whatever she asks, and she will use his feelings." Now, here's a place where there's a couple of gaps. The letter says she will use your, and then there's something I can't interpret, and then to lead him into danger. She will lead him to his death, exclamation point. "My dear Charlotte," and then there's a few words I can't tell what they say, "protect your father from Anna Devane. To guide you, I am giving you these very special tarot cards. They are powerful tools, Charlotte. You'll find them helpful." And then there's a little bit I can't read. And then it says, "Use them to protect and save your father." And he signed it, "Your ally and loving grandfather, Victor Cassadine." Pretty interesting, huh? So the thing with the cards, though, unless Victor has changed how the programming works, is usually you have the card and then somebody says a phrase like "you're activated" or whatever. It's a very Manchurian Candidate thing, if you remember that classic movie about somebody. And in Manchurian Candidate, it was actual playing cards. I think maybe it was the Queen of Hearts. It's kind of an interesting movie, kind of blast from the past. I like classic movies. So what do you guys think? Is there somebody working with Victor who is using the activation phrase with her? Do you think Charlotte even knows that she did these things? Because Drew Cain didn't know what crimes he was committing while he was under that programming. So I honestly think if it's the same kind of thing, I mean, and it should be because Victor was the mastermind behind both, that Charlotte doesn't know. So I'm kind of waiting on Valentine to work up the nerve to confront her and say, "Look, I know that you trashed Anna's hotel room. Nina showed me the security footage." And Charlotte's going to be like, "I don't know what you're talking about, Papa. I was nowhere near there. I was off doing whatever." Interesting. There's some other theories floating around. Some people said that they thought that Jake might have been involved with that since he likes to do art stuff and there was ink. The red writing on the mirror was just like the red writing as we saw in the recent flashback of murderer across her door of the house that was later burned down. I think that Charlotte is working alone, but I think that somebody else is involved. I don't know who, and that's just my speculation on that point, but I thought the contents of the full letter were very interesting. Drop your comments below. Let me know what you think about this whole plot and what you think Charlotte might do next. And this is just one horrible parting gift from Victor Cassadine, right? That he's just wreaking havoc from beyond his evil grave. Please click subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel and we appreciate it. And definitely click a like if you're enjoying this conversation, and come back soon for more on General Hospital. Thanks so much for tuning in. This has been Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.